What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome back to the Nerdy Narrative for another weekly reading wrap-up. My wrap-up consists of all of the books that I read, the ones I'm still working on, and the ones I plan to get into next. Starting with what I finished. Let's talk about Kristen Britton's First Writer's Call, the second book in the Green Rider series. If I had been given these two books with the covers and the cover pages torn off, it literally starts on page 1 to the end, or I was given the audiobooks to listen to without being told who the author was, never in a million years would I have guessed the same person wrote these two books. They couldn't be more different from each other. The first book in the series, Green Rider, was so good. I mean, it had a little bit of a rocky start for me. The first couple of chapters I just didn't mesh with, but very quickly it felt like the author found her pace, found the way that she wanted to tell the story. It was action-packed, but not the kind of action that wore you out because it didn't ever settle to let you rest. It was just constantly something interesting happening. This one was a lot of history about the Green Riders, which I was happy to get that history. It should not have been this long. There was a lot of what I would call fluff. You know how when you watch TV series, there's always the 1 or 2 episodes that you call filler? They're just there. They don't really do anything to further the story. Maybe give you a little side quest for one of the characters. This is a case where the audiobook couldn't save it. The narrator, in this case, there were a lot of voices for different men or entities, I will say, that she just made sound really just not good. Like, it was terrible. It was terrible. That's just the honest to God truth. It was terrible. Now, my friend Amanda from the Reading and Writing Life, she's already read the third book in the series, and she really enjoyed it. I am going to give that one a shot. I'm going to see if the author returns to the dynamic way that she wrote book 1 with it, but if not, I will absolutely be DNFing the series. But let's shake that one off and talk about the next book that I finished, which is John Gwynn's The Shadow of the Gods. Wow. I wasn't sure. Like, I am such a snob. I love the Banished Lands, and I just kind of had it in my head that I just put it off because it's not the Banished Lands. It's a completely different story. And I just didn't know if I was going to be able to find love in my heart for something other than the Banished Lands from John Gwynn. Well, he really knocked it out of the park with this one. He took his love for Norse mythology and just wrapped a fantastic fantasy story around that topic. And the way he chose to illustrate it to readers, Orca, she is one of my top favorite fantasy characters at this point. There are 3 POVs. We get Elvar, Orca, and Varg. I favored Orca and Varg the most. Elvar was okay. She really got dynamic to me towards the end of this story. I am so excited. I immediately went into the Hunger of the Gods this morning. So, spoiler alert if you didn't know, Orbit and NetGalley were kind enough to approve me for the next book in the series. I've already started it. I've only read the first couple of chapters, so there's really nothing I can tell you about it except that I've started it, and I will fill you in more on that next week. The only other book that I finished this week was A Man with One of Those Faces. That is the first book in the Dublin trilogy by Queve McDonald. McDonald also wrote the paranormal thriller series, The Stranger Times, that I recently read and absolutely loved. This is his crime thriller. It is a completely different type of thriller, but McDonald still shines when it comes to writing characters. He still does it in that very memorable way where it's just something about that character, just 1 or 2 lines that he uses when he introduces a new character that you don't forget them. This is one I am consuming solely through audiobook. I don't know that these paperbacks are available. Or maybe these are available, but the Stranger Times are not available until July of this year. At any rate, I am listening to this on audiobook. It is a different narrator than his other series, but Morgan C. Jones does me proud on this one as well. I just love it. I cannot wait to continue the series. I do have the next one on audiobook. I am waiting to start that one until I finish my current audiobook, which I also have here in physical copy, Cant Hurt Me by David Goggins. You know, recently Chris broke his hip very badly and he cannot put any weight on it. We have really come up with some ways of getting him around the house and doing things like getting him in the shower and all. We have really pushed the boundaries of our creativity. But this book, Chris kept telling me when he was in the ER, he was in so much pain, but you would never know it if he had not told you. And he kept telling me that he was pulling out of his cookie jar, which is a method that David Goggins created for himself when he was in the most pain of whatever it was he was doing, whether it was going through his third hell week to become a Navy SEAL through the BUDS program, where he later became an ultra marathon runner and started running these races with zero training. Something that involved pushing through the pain to get that win, achieve that goal. One of those methods that he uses to battle his own mind is pulling from the cookie jar. And what that means is he stores all of the memories of the things that he had achieved up until this point, things that he's accomplished, things that people said he would never do. And when I saw my husband handling his injury the way that he did, it was all based on a book that he had recently read. I had to read it, and it is phenomenal. There are so many wonderful quotes, but this one I cannot recommend enough. I'm listening to the audiobook version where it's annotated. David Goggins and Andrew Skolnick, who actually put this together for Goggins, they have a discussion after each chapter that is just really, really interesting. Which brings us to, what am I going to read next? And I am caught between two. I don't know if I want to start Richard Chismar's Gwendy's Magic Feather, which is book 2 in the button box. It's a little short one. So do I want to start this one first, or do I want to get right into Simone St. James, the Book of Cold Cases? This is the book club pick of the month for the Wine and Crime book club that I'm starting, kicking off in the month of April. I don't know which one I want to do first. I'm probably going to go with this one. I have been so excited to read this one since I discovered it. And then just seeing all of the excitement and the Discord channel for everybody participating and reading that, it's just got me pumped up. So that's going to be the one I start next. That's a wrap, guys. That's everything I read, what I'm still working on, and what I plan to read next. Here we are, April 1st. It's a new month. What have you got planned for this month? And with that, I will let you guys go on about your day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend planned, and I will see you in the next one.